Welcome to Feel Safe in Your Body. I'm Victor Goenka. My guest today is a founder. For years, his answer to everything was the same: push harder, more output, more ambition, more proving. And from the outside, it looked functional, the way it does for so many high performers, while underneath, it ran on hidden stress and old survival strategies. Then he noticed the pattern under the pattern. When he's dysregulated, he overreaches. When he's calm, he thinks clearly, connects better, decides better. And chasing more goals never fixed the old patterns. It just gave them more speed. A lot of that landed on a bike, alone somewhere in Vietnam, where there was nowhere left to hide. Today we get into that, what he found there, and what it means to build a business and a life by listening instead of forcing. One arc, like always, where he started, what wired him, what turned it, and what safety feels like now. Let's go. Welcome, Chung.
Hi, Victor. Thanks for having me.
Glad to be speaking with you. Take me into the pushing years, more output, more proving. From the outside, it looked like it was working. What was it actually like to live inside that in your body every day?
Yeah, good question. I think while you do it, it feels good, you know? It's like when you feel so fast, you feel like you can do so much until it hits you and then you just break. And I don't think it it's so weird because it happens again and again, and every time you think, "Oh, this time, maybe this time it's different." This time it feels aligned. This time it feels like I really want to do this. So you just keep pushing until everything breaks. And I think it took me 10 years of my career, and like three burnouts to realize that this is a pattern that I have to break, that I cannot just keep doing. And um, endurance helped me to realize that endurance sport. Because in endurance sport, you cannot just keep pushing. You have to pace yourself. It helps me to know how long I have to go today. It helps me how long I still have to go until I reach a certain point. And then, as I like to say, take a conscious break. Every now and then, every day, and then also when you're done with your big task. Yeah,
Love that. It's about sports, endurance, taking breaks, being kind to yourself, but at the same time pushing yourself.
exactly. I like to say these days, be fair and not just be kind. I mean, of course, be kind, but for me, my mantra that works really well is be fair. Um, I'm very strict with myself. I have very high standards, and sometimes it's also leaked to my relationships. And it took me also a long, long, long time to realize that it is breaking relationships as well. So be fair. Um, is what I try to live with these days. Yeah.
You said it looked functional. What was the
Yes.
gap between how it looked and how it felt?
Yeah. It looked functional. So from the outside, it looked perfect. And I think this is also how I measured myself. And in the inside, I felt just very empty. I didn't know. I didn't feel like anything. I was like, I'm doing everything right. I'm following the script. Um, I, I'm successful at this as well. Like, obviously, I'm not blindsided. I can see the outward success. Um, and then I'm still not only unhappy, but like really empty. I didn't understand it. I couldn't solve it. And I thought I would need to do more, or I would need to do more things that aligned with me. But it was never about doing more, I think. This is what I realized after a while. Yeah.
And towards your own insight, and it's pretty sharp, chasing more goals didn't fix the old patterns.
Yeah.
It just gave them more speed, right?
Exactly.
Unpack that for me. What were the
Yep.
goals actually doing for your nervous system?
The funny thing about goals, I'm conditioned to like follow these goals, and I'm really determined to finish these goals because I have a contract with myself. I'm telling myself I'm going to do this. So there's no excuse, like I will find a way. If it's really aligned, I will find a way. And doing more feels like productive, right? So I don't know. I want to feel productive. I wanted to feel productive. I wanted to feel like I'm doing something in the world and moving things forward. I'm not just spinning around. But ironically, by doing more, you're just spinning around because you're not moving towards something that I want to become. I'm just moving more towards these external goals that I think I want and I set myself, but I never questioned whether these are the things that I want. So I think this is where the big split is, right? Like your body notices it that you are in a machine and you're doing something, but you're actually not steering the machine. And I think that's like this big conundrum, right? This is why it's so confusing.
And for a lot of founders, ambition is the regulation strategy. Building outruns the feeling. The next goal is a way to not be still long enough to notice the state underneath.
Absolutely. Yes. I have goosebumps when you say that because I can absolutely see that for myself and then also with my clients that at work. Um we numb ourselves, right? We avoid this feeling. I avoided this feeling that I don't want to feel by just doing more, by finding an external thing. And I think this is also one big problem. If I solved all the problems for myself, is what I thought. So I started to solve problems for others. But in doing that, I was also masking the problems that I still have to work on myself.
And you named the mechanism quite precisely: dysregulated and overreach.
Yes.
Calm, you think clearly. So when did you first catch that link in real time? The moment you saw your business decisions were actually nervous system states.
That was on a bicycle.
Bring me to that moment.
Yeah, on a bicycle, when you go long distances on a bicycle, I think it doesn't really matter what, but for me, the bicycle resonates the most. I just love the feeling of pushing into the pedals and the wind next to my ears. And knowing that, there's nothing else going on except I just I have to get somewhere. I don't even know where, but like I know the direction that I'm going. Um,
Basically, you went solo cycling through Vietnam, right? And you said there was nowhere to hide.
yes.
Take me onto that bike. Not the lesson, not the actual
Okay.
experience, but what came up when you couldn't outrun it anymore? What was that state?
What I remember very clearly is things like denying myself of the things that I should be doing. Like I have to pee or I'm hungry. I'm never skipping lunch while I'm on a bike, right? Because I know if I don't eat, then there's no fuel, so I cannot move on. But I think a small thing is like peeing. Um, I can pee anytime, anywhere. I could be peeing anytime, anywhere, and it's building up. But I'm on a bike, and I'm like, you know what? I can still push a little bit. It's not that bad yet. But then I already feel it that I should be doing it. But I let it be for 5 minutes, and then I cycle a little bit more, and then I'm saying to myself, you know what? Like I can hold it like half an hour more. And then so I do it half an hour more. And then, 2 hours pass and 3 hours pass. And it's not so bad. Like just going, you have to pee, it's not that bad, right? But then other things starting to pile up. Maybe there's like really heavy traffic. You have all the trucks next to you, and it's kind of scary these big trucks because you're just on your bike next to the street, and there's not a lot of wiggle room, right? And they don't care about you at all. They just breeze past you. Um, and then all these small little things, they just add up. They just add up. And they add up because you think you can handle them. It's like death by a thousand cuts, right?
And how does the signal come forward? Like, does it come through the body? Does it come from the mind? Especially, I'm interested in the body. Like, what does the body tell you on the road that specific day?
It becomes like I become easily frustrated. So I notice that I breathe less or more like irregular. In general, I lose the focus on my breathing, which usually helps really, really well. When I feel stressed and I can observe myself, I can see that I'm starving myself of oxygen. So taking conscious breaths is really helpful. I can describe what I'm doing, which is cursing everything and anything around me. um,
You described also like the shift, right, as learning to stay with discomfort without immediately turning it into action, overwork, or self abandonment.
yeah,
That's really the whole game. What does staying actually feel like for someone whose entire system is
yeah,
built to convert discomfort into motion?
uncomfortable, of course, so uncomfortable. Like doing something is like scratching an itch, right? And not doing something is like, oh my God, it feels like I have to do something. It's just inside in it's uncalm, you know? It feels like there's something brewing and you have to do something to keep it calm basically. And doing something makes me think I'm calming it down.
And you say that building a business and building a life both got clearer, right? When you stopped forcing and started actually listening.
Yeah.
So give me some concrete example for that. What changed in how you actually run things today?
Yeah. I have a very concrete example. I think I used to try to sell my stuff onto people. I saw opportunity and I saw especially potential with almost anyone. Um, and that was, I think, often just in my mind. I tried to force a lot of things because I knew I could do by grinding, by doing more. I would deliver to customers that are really not aligned with me, but would um, fulfill my short-term goals. It doesn't have to be money always. Sometimes it's also just opportunities or connections. And it was because I thought I can help them, you know, connecting them with other people. I love connecting people with each other. And I thought I can do this for anyone, you know? Like I'm outgoing, I'm like going around and talk with people and I thought I can help them. I thought my services I can sell to them. But I think what I learned now is my most recent lesson is it's not really necessary to force things. If you just let go, if you learn to let go, things become easier actually, you know? The people that you want to work with, they will pop up anyway. Like people are always popping up in your life when you are out there. And instead of trying to force a connection, sometimes even if there's none, and just focus on your own filters, um, my own qualification filters, it makes my life so much easier because now the people I work with, they really, really want to work with me. Um, I don't have to convince them of anything. They're already convinced when they appear in my on my front door. This is the most recent example. Yeah. And so this makes life for both of us easier because I feel less stressed. I feel less anxious about, you know, being something that I'm not. Um, and they also choose me. I have this metaphor, like I have a store, I'm sitting in front of my store. We have all these digital businesses, and digital businesses, they don't really have a store where you can sit in front. My dad used to have a restaurant, and I remember sitting there outside in the summer on the porch, you know, and we're just sitting there, and then guests come in, the people come in, we stand up, go in, and serve them. And with this digital business, we don't have that anymore. But I still now I operate in this way, you know, I'm like, "This is what I do, this is what I can help you with, and, you know, sit down and let's have a coffee, and if not, we still have coffee and have a good conversation."
And how do you know with all the practice that you did and also the clients that you worked with and your private work with yourself, how do you know in your body that you're safe right now?
I think I would say when my brain shuts up. When I not question myself. Mm,
So for me, it's breath work, for example, to shut up
yeah,
the overthinking, the chatter.
yeah,
It's do some breath work and go into meditation, but mainly breath work is what shuts it down. For you, I imagine it's the bike.
It's the bike. It's also breathwork for sure. I bike every morning, every other morning, and I also run regularly. And to go through this discomfort, yeah, breathing is extremely helpful. Um, I do a few breathing exercises as well. I really like box breathing, and I like NSDR. So focusing on one's breath, it's one type of meditation. You can focus on many things. But yeah, I do agree. Focusing on breath is really helpful. Running.
And does the old wiring still fire? Like when the urge to overreach shows up now, mid stress, what do you do in the moment that you couldn't do before?
Now I recognize the pattern. And when I recognize the pattern, I can interrupt it by taking a break. And just a minute break, just 30 seconds, 10 seconds, like just the break itself is already helping because you teach your nervous system that this is actually safe. And it's only in your head. And I stay in the feeling, even if it's, you know, not comfortable, um, to to learn that it's okay. It's like taking ice bath or going to the sauna, right? You know it's like too hot or it's like too cold, but you also know because you've been there before, you just stay a little bit longer and it's actually fine. You're not going to die. And uncomfortable feelings are the same. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my companies is ice meditation. I've been working with ice baths for over 7 years. And people are really afraid of what their eyes are telling them,
Yeah.
right? Once you go in there, your body actually knows completely what to do, opposite from your mind that is overthinking or panicking. And it's
Yeah.
amazing to see how just in a minute or more, close to 2 minutes, the body is able to adapt completely.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're warm, suddenly your body is excelling heat, but your
Yeah.
mind is still racing. And if you can silence that mind and connect with your body, then you're suddenly becoming, first of all, limitless. Second of all, your whole perspective on the experience changes. And you come out of there feeling like, hey, my mind is limiting me throughout my life.
Yeah.
How do I turn off that voice? And that becomes a journey for so many.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You talk about building for long-term compounding, not for short-term intensity. What did your nervous system have to learn before sustainable was even possible for you? Or was calm a skill, or you had to build it from scratch, or something you uncovered?
Um, I'm very much in my head person. When you ask me about how it feels, um, I try to answer like how I think about it. And it's funny because I have a client and he's the same. um,
Well, feeling is not necessarily thinking, right?
exactly. That's what I'm trying
So
to say, right?
it's very easy to explain it with your logic, but it's a
Yeah.
lot harder to take a breath and hear yourself in terms of what is it that your body is telling you. And as an entrepreneur, as a founder, I mean, logically explaining everything is also a defense mechanism.
Yes. Yeah.
So, was calm a skill you had to build, or is it something that you uncovered?
It's a skill that you build.
What was your process?
Um, my first version of it was like, I love pain. And then I was like, nah, it's too undifferentiated. And this is not who I actually am, but it helps sometimes, to push through it and say, no, this is just pain. It will go away, in the moment. But I think, to make this more workable for me, I think it's more to think in uncomfort. And I learned that the growth is always in the uncomfort. The next edge of growth is where you feel uncomfortable. It's where you avoid things. And I think I know that uncovering those, noticing those gaps in yourself, noticing these uncomfortable zones, and then working on them will do you way more favors than adding more skills or waiting for permission or, like doing more. Um,
And imagine there's a founder listening right now who
uh,
looks completely functional and is running on on hidden stress.
Mhm.
And tonight, they'll do what they always do, convert the anxiety into more work. Using what you've lived, what's the first move? The thing they can actually try today, this week, instead of pushing themselves to the boundary.
It's tough. It's tough. I always say to take a break. The world will be moving on. It depends on the founder. I asked them, what will happen if you, and usually two or three questions in, they uncover for themselves that actually it's not a lot is going to happen, and taking the break is the right move. And I also believe I can only help people when they already feel the pain. And if the founder is somebody who still pushes and doesn't realize that it will crash them, there's nothing that I can do. Um, yeah.
From your personal experience, give me a concrete body level, a
hmm
pause, a breath, a way to notice the state before the overreach.
uh I think this is the dangerous thing. It just creeps in slowly. I can observe myself how it looks like. So when the days get longer, when I start skipping, going out for runs and cycling, when I stay way too long on my phone, this creeps into sleeping less, going to bed late because there are more things that I can do. I feel like, oh, I just pushed this one more thing. Oh, I just reached, out to one more client prospect. And then that compounds into the next day. So you wake up next day, you're tired. And when that goes on for a few days, then I know I'm overreaching. When I feel I'm tired, I think that's a very, very good tell that this is actually too late. I'm already overreaching and I need to take a break. And the earlier you notice it, when I don't notice it for like 2 weeks, I will definitely crash. If I notice it after 1 or 2 days, I can regulate. Yeah, I think that's a good example for myself. I've been observing myself in the last 2 months for a new stretch. And I already had times where I was starting to overreach. And then I just took a break and I was like, okay, this is fine. Um, on paper, everything is fine. I have my relationships. I'm healthy. I'm grateful for where I am in my life. I have this opportunity to work on the things that I find important, and I can help people, and people tell me that I'm helping them. So it's all good. I don't have to stress.
Yeah, it's important to catch yourself earlier before the actual crash happens, right?
Yes. Yes.
You said a lot of what people call business problems are really regulation, identity, or avoidance problems in disguise.
Yes.
For the founder who's never once considered that their company's bottleneck might be their nervous system,
Uh-huh.
what do you want them to hear?
Our brains have this beautiful ability to intellectualize everything. And that's a problem with being the bottleneck themselves as well. We externalize, we externalize problems, we externalize to hide our own emotions. And it often doesn't even feel that way, because like it's business, right? It's ice cold. It's facts, it's money, it's finance, it's whatever. People don't care about your feelings, but actually it's quite the opposite. It's like if your nervous regulation doesn't work, you will burn out again and again, And most people just burn out, right? Like most companies don't survive the first year after the fifth year. Looking at the studies and also talking to my founders and looking at history, it's always the founder who just burns out. Like they are not sold on a vision anymore. They don't want to do it anymore, or they are anxious about all the tasks that they have to do, overwhelmed by all the tasks that they have to do.
I resonate with that myself. You need to have a solid team behind it
Yeah,
because you cannot always be in control. You need to begin to delegate at one point. And if
yeah,
you don't have a team that can hold that castle together with you stepping back, then obviously the whole engine stops functioning.
yeah. Absolutely agreed. Yeah.
And what kind of work do you do with your clients? Where can people find you? I am trung.com.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the work that you do with your clients and what kind of clients do you work with?
Yes. So I work with founders with small teams. They are usually outgrowing their own mode of operation, right? It's just like you said. Um, they were used to pushing and they were used to being really successful at that as well. But at a certain stage, and my founders that I work with, they then try to hire, they try to externalize that problem. Sometimes even they are early and they think they just need to hire somebody to do their work for them, but they haven't done the work themselves. So they don't even know what they can delegate. So everything falls back onto them. So it's really about uncovering the surface story, like the surface symptom. And the surface symptoms are usually my team is too slow. I cannot decide. My execution is too slow. And I help them to uncover the actual reason. Because when you know what's actually running you, when you know the pattern, then you can act on it. Then you can catch it. And I work with founders in tech all over the world. I myself from Berlin with Vietnamese parents, and I moved to Vietnam last year. So now I also have clients here in Southeast Asia, Europe, Southeast Asia, and America. And usually it's startup founders just backed. Now they have this big responsibility. I come from VC backed companies myself, so I know the stress. And I help them to understand themselves better, to reconnect with themselves, and then to be able to run their business because they understand themselves better.
Awesome. Is there anything you would like to leave our listeners with? Um, I love the fact that you're cycling, and I
Yeah.
think the most important thing for a founder is to exhaust the body. And
Yeah.
most important thing for a depressed person is to exhaust the body because a
Yes.
lot of the depression lives in the body. And when your body is exhausted, you have no time for depression.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Um, do more of what you are not doing. So go out and exhaust your body.
And all the answers are within you. Don't neglect those answers. You know exactly what you need to be doing. The fact that you're ignoring that is your problem. The fact that you're not doing that is your problem. And the fact that you're going to pay a coach $2,000 doesn't mean that you will start doing it.
100%. 100%. I can feel this in my bones. I can feel like my goosebumps coming up. We all know what we need to do. And for some reason we don't. And I think this is why I like my work so much. I help people to see themselves better because when you uncover the story below the surface, and you understand these patterns where they're coming from, things become so much easier. And exhausting is a great way to do it because when you're exhausted, you don't have the patience anymore to repeat that same story. And then so the actual story comes forward.
Yeah. And if your mind is loud and your body never quite settles, that's the work I do inside BreathX Collective and one on one with a few people at a time. Links are also in the show notes. This was Feel Safe in Your Body. I'm Victor Goenka. Thanks for listening and thanks for being here.